So if you were to bring the black share of wealth at least to the black share of the population, it would require an additional at least $10 trillion.
But if we were paid those unskilled wages at a 6% interest rate, we would have $6.2 quadrillion that we would be owed today.
Reparations is the key. The story have black folks come and talk about what kind of hell they live and have people have to listen. Reparations will set us free.
As long as you are black, no one likes you. Africans fleeing Ukraine report racism and discrimination at the border. According to the latest government data compiled by UNHCR, the UN Refugee Agency, more than 1 million Ukrainians have fled to neighboring countries to escape the Russian invasion. That number could soar to more than 4 million in the coming months. According to data from Ukraine's Ministry of Education and Science, in 2019, there were about 80,000 international students studying in Ukraine from 158 countries, the majority of which, about 23%, come from India, followed by Morocco, Azerbaijan, Turkmenistan, and Nigeria. As the Russian invasion of Ukraine continues, foreign students attempting to leave the country say they are experiencing racism and discrimination by Ukrainian border authorities. That includes people of African descent. As long as you are black, no one likes you, said Ethel Ansay Oto, a student from Ghana attempting to flee Ukraine. Mostly, they would consider white people first. White people first, Indian people, Arabic people before black people.
That's unfortunate. Yeah, that's why you wouldn't catch me out in the Ukraine. Not much talk about black Americans out there that I've heard. How about you?
No, haven't heard anything, but there was a story about this WNBA.
I did see something like that, and she's being detained or something. So
yeah, actually, I might throw it in the news, so we'll see.
Oh, all right, maybe
throw it in there.
SoCal grocery workers contract expires. Walkout possible. A labor contract representing workers at several Southern California grocery store chains expired overnight, raising the possibility that workers could authorize a strike if a new agreement isn't quickly reached. Negotiations between the United Food and Commercial Workers Union Local 770 and chains including Albertsons, Gelson's, Pavilions, Ralph's, Starter Bros, and Vons broke down over the weekend. Negotiations are expected to continue throughout the week to avert a walkout. However, if an agreement isn't reached by Friday, union leaders expect to schedule a strike authorization vote, a union spokeswoman told Patch. The 3-year-old contract that expired at midnight was hammered out prior to the pandemic, and the last 2 years have seen essential workers hit hard by coronavirus outbreaks.
Wow.
Yeah, hopefully they get the contract agreement that they want and need.
Yep. This is a sad and unfortunate story. Pensacola family engages Cochran law firm after toddler injured in PPD SWAT encounter. Let's see. Pulled out of a dead sleep by an early morning phone call, a Pensacola woman jumped out of bed and into her car minutes after authorities urged her to quickly come to the crime scene. The father of the woman's 1-year-old and 3-year-old boys, Corey Mariano Jr., had been taken into police custody in front of their children for firing a handgun at a SWAT team officer executing a search warrant at his home shortly before 5 a.m. on February the 3rd. After their dad left the scene in the back of a police car, the boys were left in the care of Pensacola police. While officials contacted their mom, the youngest child fell headfirst out of the back of a stationary patrol vehicle. The little boy's face smashed against the pavement. The mother, 24-year-old Moya Dixon, has retained a Los Angeles-based attorney and is threatening to sue the city of Pensacola and Pensacola Police Department in response to her son's injuries and her belief that police attempted to cover up their blunder by dissuading her from taking her son to the hospital. When I got there, I saw caution tape all over the place and police officers, so I'm frantic. I'm like, where's my children? Where are my children? Dixon recalled. When I got to my 1-year-old, he was unrecognizable. He had bruises all over his face. I couldn't find his forehead, his lips, and his nose bloody. It was disgusting. Pensacola police declined to comment on the matter, citing a recently opened PPD internal affairs investigation into the matter.
No, that's pretty malicious. Yeah, they had no business caring for those children. All right. In other racist news, an update. Legislative Black Caucus joins NAACP in demanding investigation into law enforcement misconduct. Sacramento, California. A letter on Thursday from Betty Williams, president of the Greater Sacramento chapter of the NAACP, noted that Kate Adams retired in September as chief of the Rancho Cordova Police Department, which operates under a contract with the Sacramento County Sheriff's Office, was placed on an extended administrative leave prior to her retirement. Williams wrote that Adams sent racially charged pictures via text to many other Sheriff's Department employees. The caption reads, "Go be a in," and then they have it blocked out there, but go be a in somewhere else. And if you can see the picture up there in the corner, it has this white guy shooting a little black boy with water from a water hose. The caption again reads, "Go be a in somewhere else." Quote, "It cannot be classified as a joke," Williams wrote. "It's an obvious racist depiction," end quote. The NAACP is now joined by Senator Stephen Bradford and the California Legislative Black Caucus. Quote, "We use this moment to recognize that social media messaging is used as a pathway to perpetuate racism while also exposing those who use racism in their positions of power," the NAACP said in a statement on Friday. Quote, "Rancho Cordova's Chief Adams had a responsibility to stand against racism and bias. Instead, what has been communicated to the NAACP is a person who finds the historic and traumatizing use of hoses against Black people a mockery," end quote. The NAACP noted that Sacramento County jails are 40% Black, while the population is barely 11%.
Wow.
So this is the type of overt racism that we're dealing with in Sacramento. Shout out Stephen Bradford, Reparations Task Force member, for stepping in and writing a bill to combat this racist behavior.
Yeah, shout out to Senator Stephen Bradford. Speaking of legislation and politics, Lori Lightfoot. I have the biggest D in Chicago. Mayor Lightfoot sued for defamation, accused of profane comments. A former attorney for the city of Chicago is suing Mayor Lori Lightfoot for defamation after she allegedly berated a group of lawyers during a heated meeting over the removal of the Christopher Columbus statue. The statue was removed in July 2020 following unrest over the murder of George Floyd, may he rest in peace, and power under Lightfoot's orders. Crews used a large crane to remove the statue from its pedestal in Grant Park following a week after protesters trying to topple the monument clashed with police. The lawsuit, filed Wednesday by former Chicago Park District Counsel General George Smaraniotis, said Lightfoot blocked a deal with an Italian-American group to display the statue in the Columbus Day Parade. Smaraniotis claims she berated the lawyers who struck the deal, asking them which law school they attended or if they even knew or even went to law school. The suit claims the insults defamed Smaraniotis by insinuating that he lacked the abilities to perform his duties. The lawsuit also claims the mayor used obscene language and called the lawyers D something something something. The mayor allegedly made the following statement: "You make some kind of secret agreement with Italians. You are out there measuring your D with the Italians, seeing who's got the biggest D. You are out there stroking your D over the clothes." Oh, sorry. I just have to laugh because this kind of reminds me of the Saturday Night Live skit. Anyway, "I'm trying to keep Chicago police officers from being shot, and you are trying to get them shot." The lawsuit claims she then went on to say, "My D is bigger than yours, and the Italians, I have the biggest D in Chicago."
Okay, well, I haven't seen the SNL skit that you're referring to. Maybe you'll have to share that at some point. But
yeah. Just to clarify, I'm not aware of a SNL skit, but it reminds me that this could be an SNL skit.
SNL, take notes. You can make a script about this. But it looks like the biggest D in this story means defamation lawsuit. So we'll see how that all pans out. Okay, J&J's controversial prison testing resurfaces in baby powder lawsuits. The company funded experiments on mostly Black men comparing the effects of talc and asbestos on their skin. And this is a report from Bloomberg dated March 7th. More than 50 years ago, nearly a dozen men incarcerated outside of Philadelphia enrolled in an experiment funded by Johnson & Johnson, according to unsealed documents. Now those studies have come back to haunt the world's largest maker of healthcare products. In one study, inmates were paid to be injected with potentially cancer-causing asbestos so the company could compare its effect on their skin versus that of talc, a key component in its iconic baby powder. University of Pennsylvania dermatologist Albert Klingman conducted hundreds of human experiments over 2 decades at Holmesburg Prison in Pennsylvania. The testing regime, funded by entities such as Dow Chemical and the United States government, involved mostly Black inmates and first came to light decades ago in books and newspaper articles. But J&J's involvement in the talc studies focusing on asbestos hasn't been made public in the media before now.
Wow.
Yeah, so obviously that's very concerning since J&J is one of the pharmaceutical companies that put out the vaccine during the COVID pandemic, and they're clearly, have demonstrated experimentation in their products. So, yeah.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of the medical apartheid.
Yeah. Definitely. So we'll see what happens with this lawsuit. But like I said, they're still giving people, vaccines and medicine today. I mean, with this type of a track record.
Record-breaking gas prices could be here to stay. Here's what a gallon might cost you this summer. The average gas price in the U.S. surged to over $4 per gallon this week, as the invasion of Ukraine led to a new all-time high for the cost of gas. These prices are expected to remain elevated, possibly all summer, or at least until the supply of oil catches up with demand. Western countries have been avoiding Russian oil purchases due to the conflict in Eastern Europe, which, along with growing post-pandemic demand, has choked the global supply of crude oil. Here are the most expensive average costs of gas prices per gallon in the country. California at $5.44, Hawaii $4.71, Nevada $4.67, Oregon $4.58, Washington $4.54, Alaska $4.50, Illinois $4.44, and New York $4.36.
Yeah, gas being way up is one of the reasons being cited that people, don't want to go to the office. That commute right now, saves you quite a bit of money. So, yeah, gas prices and inflations are up, but let's see what Joe Biden wants to spend money on these days. Rep. Cori Bush to Biden. You didn't mention saving Black lives once in this speech, and she's talking about the recent State of the Union address. Rep. Cori Bush was seemingly unhappy on Tuesday night after President Biden announced his support of funding police departments. In his first State of the Union address, Biden told Congress the answer is not to defund the police, it's to fund the police. Fund them. Fund them. Fund them with resources and training they need to protect our communities, the president continued. While his message received loud praise in the audience with a standing ovation from his party and Republicans, Democrats like Bush said Biden has the wrong idea. With all due respect, Mr. President, you didn't mention saving Black lives once in this speech, Bush tweeted. All our country has done is given more funding to police. The result, 2021 set a record for fatal police shootings. Defund the police, invest in our communities. So that was a tweet from Cori Bush, Rep. Cori Bush, and I believe we have a video to go along with that. Let's hear what Biden had to say.
We should all agree the answer is not to defund the police. It's to fund the police. Fund them. Fund them. Fund them with resources and training. Resources and training they need to protect our communities. I ask Democrats and Republicans alike to pass my budget and keep our neighborhoods safe.
Wow, I don't even know what to say about that.
That's your only comment? All right, we'll keep it pushing.
Has Florida Governor Ron DeSantis lost his mind? Black parents sound off after official berated high school students for wearing masks. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is catching heat for the way he pressured young high school students to remove their masks during his press conference at the University of Florida. Now, some of the children and their parents are speaking out against the governor's questionable behavior. On March 2nd, DeSantis, who appeared visibly annoyed, walked up to the group of Hillsborough County high school students, firmly demanding that they remove their masks. Eric Marshall, who was one of the students that attended the conference, told local news station WFLA that he was surprised and shocked by the governor's brash response.
Let's take a look at that exchange.
You do not have to wear those masks. I mean, please take them off. Honestly, it's not doing anything, and we got to stop with this COVID theater. So if you want to wear it, fine, but this is ridiculous.
All right. Well, it's good to be at USF.
Hey, he's got the First Amendment, so I don't know what to say if that's what he's feeling. Okay.
Well, the story continues. Can you finish it up?
Let's do it. This authority figure is asking me to do something that I know is probably going to end up being controversial, so I took mine off, Eric said. When asked by the reporter if he felt pressured to do so, he responded, "A little. It was more of a pressure of an adult figure asking me to do something." Eric's mother, Dawn Marshall, condemned the governor for his insensitive behavior.
Let's see what young Eric's mama had to say about it.
I'm responsible for him, and I told him to wear that mask. And Governor DeSantis, and he's looking at this adult authority and is telling him, "Oh, you didn't have to wear the mask."
What was your reaction when you heard the governor tell you and your classmates, remove your masks?
A bit of surprise and shock, more of, okay, this authority figure is asking me to do something that I know is probably going to end up being controversial, so I took mine off.
Did you feel pressure by the governor to do that?
A little. It was more of a pressure of an adult figure asking me to do something, and it's just like, all right, why not?
It's just shocking that the governor told these kids, "Take off your mask." He pretty much said, "Take off your mask, it's stupid. And take off your mask, your parents don't matter." Even though I'm telling you, parents matter. And he's telling my minor child to take off his mask. He's putting us at risk. So, I was upset, very upset.
You know, when I first saw that video on social media, I saw that little black boy take his mask off. First thing I thought was his mama's gonna give him the business when he gets home. I already knew that was coming. But you know, seriously, are we in a pandemic or not? I mean, we get information that we're supposed to be wearing masks, and we get information, you know, that we don't have to wear masks. The information is so confusing out there. I understand that mother's point. Now you're bringing home these droplets to my house, COVID droplets. I mean,
yeah, there's a lot of information kind of going out there. You know, the CDC says one thing, and then there are some conspiracy theorists out there saying another. So it definitely gets confusing. Bottom line, this is what, from my understanding and what the science actually says, is that basically these COVID, vaccine shots, they're not stopping transmission of the virus. So I guess the question is, are they really working then? No. I mean, if something is not stopping the transmission of it, then they're not working. Now, I guess, according to what they say, and the scientists are saying, that who, create these and manufacturing these vaccines, that there's a greater chance that a person won't, feel worse by taking, or even having won't cause death or something like that. But I'm not a scientist, I'm not a doctor, so refer to the CDC and or your healthcare practitioner for any healthcare advice. Just based on the research and what they are saying is that these shots aren't actually helping with the transfer of the COVID. So
yeah, I mean, but it still, comes down to personal, choice in the matter. And I don't know that an authority figure, like the young man said, should be encouraging people to, go against the science that's out there, if that's what you want to call it.
Yeah, definitely. And I should have made Florida Governor Ron DeSantis said that? Obviously not. I mean, I was like, bro, you shouldn't be telling people to take off their mask. If they want to wear a mask, then they should be wearing a mask, right? Even though there's been some studies saying that some masks work better than others. But at the end of the day, it's really up to the individual if they want to wear a mask or not.
Right. DeSantis was out of pocket on that one. Let's see what else is going on in COVID news in the state of Florida.
Healthy children in Florida should not get the COVID-19 vaccine. That was the firm message from Florida Surgeon General Dr. Joseph Ladapo just today.
He announced the Florida Department of Health will officially recommend against the COVID-19 vaccine for healthy children. News Channel 5's Lenny Supal with reaction from South Florida pediatricians.
This recommendation makes Florida the first state in the country to go directly against guidance from the CDC, which encourages everyone over the age of 5 to get a COVID-19 vaccine. Tonight, an announcement from the Florida Department of Health sending shockwaves through the state's medical community.
We need to recognize the science, the public health policy that we've always lived by.
A message contradicting the CDC's guidance and prompting confusion among families. Florida's Surgeon General announced the Florida Department of Health will officially recommend against the COVID-19 vaccine for healthy children.
We don't need confusing messages such as this coming from our officials with non-science, non-public health-based comments. We know that there are children that have ended up in the hospital or with severe complications that were, quote, totally healthy prior to COVID.
The state Surgeon General cited a recent study from the New York State Department of Health. The study looked at Pfizer's COVID-19 shot and found the vaccine's effectiveness against hospitalizations in children from 5 to 11 years old dropped more than 50% over 6 weeks from mid-December to late January.
The vaccination rates have been higher, which means that we've been seeing less spread of the disease. That's one of the reasons why I say, yes, go get the vaccine.
The study has yet to undergo peer review, which is considered the gold standard for medical research.
But I'm standing with CDC and AAP about saying, like, yes, all children over the age of 5 should get the vaccine.
In Palm Beach County, Lenny Supal, WPTV News Channel 5.
Hey, that's what they are saying. So,
a lot of black people in that video there, caping for the Jabberwocky there.
Yep.
That's what I noticed. And another takeaway was when the guy said confusing messages. I'm like, amen to that. This is just also confusing. Who knows what to do?
Confusing at best. Florida teacher beaten, hospitalized after attack by 5-year-old student, police say. A South Florida teacher. Oh, you know what? I think you were supposed to take this, right?
You're doing a great job.
Okay, I guess I'll continue. A South Florida teacher was taken to the hospital last week after she was attacked by a 5-year-old student, leaving her dazed and unresponsive, officials said Monday. The unidentified instructor was found by first responders sitting on the ground against the wall and appearing to be in a faint state at Pines Lakes Elementary School, about 15 miles southwest of downtown Fort Lauderdale, according to a heavily redacted Pembroke Pines Police Department incident report. The victim was clearly weak and dazed, able to blink and breathe regularly, but at no point was able to vocally respond or show signs of a response, the report said. The troubling incident started when a 5-year-old boy had to be removed from class for throwing things around and flipping the chairs, police said. The youngster was taken to an empty cool-down room where the attack on the teacher allegedly took place, police said. The teacher was taken to Memorial Regional Hospital in Hollywood and has since been released, officials said.
Wow. So, I mean, is this Jabberwocky giving these kids superhuman strength? I mean, a 5-year-old? Well, a lot of the comments were saying that, teachers just cannot take the chance of, restraining kids or touching kids. Do you think that's what led to the severity of this incident?
I don't know. I mean, I wasn't there, and so I really don't have too much opinion on this. I do know that normally for 5-year-old young children, usually 5-year-olds can't overpower or normally can't,
Yeah, this could not be me. This could not be me. But what are you gonna do if you can't, defend yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you're kind of like in a vulnerable position and maybe the 5-year-old may have jumped in, you're laying on your back and they jumped and, karate chopped. I mean, I guess. I mean, I don't know. Guess this is another, we're not trying to make fun of this teacher.
No, it's not
at
funny at all. But we're just trying to, get to the bottom of how
Yeah.
something like this could happen.
Even though this could end up on another SNL skit too.
Lots of
Just
content,
saying.
lots of content for SNL, including this next story from the Black and Brown Coalition. Let's take a look.
A real revolutionary, let this be a demonstration. Y'all scared of revolution, so y'all pushing reparations. Oppressors, man, we gotta take the shit back, cause no amount of money they give you could bring your folks back. I'm really trying to open your mind, just give me time. If you stop trying to judge me, you see we on the same side. We should be in them pyramids or chilling on the beach, but instead y'all being misled by this lame Tariq. Look, racism and hatred is all he teach. He make money from y'all, and so his life's complete. But where the real leaders at, willing to fight for this shit? If Fred Hampton was alive, he would be liking this shit. I feel like a young lord who fought with the Black Panthers, and once we stand together, the government gotta answer. They gotta keep us separated, keep it on the D-Lo. I got love for FBA, sincerely a Latino.
All right, that comes from Twitter. It was making the rounds on Twitter this weekend. Somebody called at Justin Faze thought that he would put a little Latin allyship rap together. What'd you think of that?
Man, the beat was fire though. I ain't gonna front. The beat was fire, but bro, them bars was backwards, bro. Yeah, I don't even know what that dude was talking about. And then oh god, he had to throw out Fred Hampton on top of it. Oh,
And the pyramids. I mean, what are we talking about, dude?
bro.
And we didn't even ask for his interference or
No.
his opinion, for him to inject himself into our conversation. He also mentioned Tariq, which you guys can go over to Tariq's YouTube and see his response to this. Actually had a little battle rap to express his feelings on the matter.
Yeah, Tariq's response was actually quite informative. So everybody go take a look at Tariq Nasheed's response, who is the creator of the Hidden Color series. So shout out to Tariq and what he's doing, for the community. But yeah, it's unfortunate because you just have a lot of non-black people who, well, not a lot. Let me just say there are some non-black people out there getting into this reparations conversation, and unfortunately, a lot of them don't have historical reference and just really are ignorant, or they're just anti-black, and it really gets down to it on the contributions, not only the contributions, but also the oppression about the people who built this place called the United States of America, right? So just a lot of misinformation, and I don't know if this dude's an op or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know who this dude is, but I
why
think
would
the
you say
lesson,
that?
I think the lesson to be learned here is thanks, but no thanks. We didn't ask you, and your input's not needed. But I think he got the message after they dragged him 3 ways from Sunday on Twitter. I think I don't think he'll be coming out with any more rap. So we'll see. He might respond to Tariq. That would be interesting.
Yeah, peace out to him, man. Peace out to him. All right,
Peace out.
What's the next story?
All right, that is the last story for today. So that
Wow.
is in the news.
In the news.
Hi, my name is Chris Lodgson with the Coalition for a Just and Equitable California. After months of strong public input, clear direction from Secretary Shirley Weber, the author of the California Reparations Bill, and the best legal advice, all in favor of lineage-based reparations eligibility, the California Reparations Task Force recently delayed their vote on who is eligible for reparations in California.
Madam Chair, 9 members voted. There were 5 ayes and 4 noes.
Thank you. So there are 5 ayes and 4 noes. So the ayes have it and the motion carries. The discussion and vote on the community of eligibility will be postponed to March.
Right now, we need your support to encourage members of the California Reparations Task Force to vote for lineage-based reparations eligibility at their March 29th meeting. In particular, please call California Reparations Task Force member and State Senator Stephen Bradford's office and tell him to vote for lineage-based reparations eligibility on March 29th, and to reject any race or harms-based tiers eligibility proposals. You can reach Senator Bradford's offices at 916-651-4035 or 310-412-6120 or 310-514-8573. The more people we have in support of lineage-based reparations eligibility, the better our chances for a vote in favor of lineage-based reparations eligibility at the March 29th Reparations Task Force meeting. For more info, visit @CJEC Official on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. As always, thank you for your support.